we're dividing a trinomial by a monomial. So we have a bunch of things on top divided by a single thing that's on the bottom. Now, whenever you have something like this, in any situation, like all three of these problems we're going to look at, you're going to take everything on top and you're going to divide it by what you have on the bottom. And each thing individually will be divided by what you have on the bottom. So we're going to do 8x cubed over x, then minus 5x squared over x plus x over x. So everything on top is being divided by x. And so now we're going to simplify all that. All right, so we're going to subtract the powers, top one minus the bottom one. So we're going to get 8x 3 minus 1 is 2. Next, we have minus 5, and then there's a 1 on the bottom here. 2 minus 1 is 1, so I just get 5x. On the end, both of these are exactly the same, so that can be reduced to just 1. Whenever you have the same thing on top and the same thing on the bottom, it's going to reduce to 1. And so therefore, this is going to be your answer, x squared minus 5x plus 1. Next example, we're going to take everything on top and divide it by 4x squared. So 8x to the 5th over 4x squared minus 16x to the 4th over 4x squared and 12x squared over 4x squared. So everything on top is being divided by 4x squared. Now we're going to simplify. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And then we subtract the powers on the x's. 5 minus 2 is 3. 16 divided by 4 is 4. And then we're going to subtract the exponents here. 4 minus 2 is 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And then the x squares, those are going to cancel out all together. Same thing on top and same thing on the bottom. They cancel out. So we get plus 3 on the end. And then that would be it. Next, we have x cubed in the bottom. So everything on top will divide by x cubed. 8x cubed over x cubed minus x squared over x cubed plus 3 over x cubed. Okay, now the x cubes are going to cancel out all together. We're just going to leave our answer as 8. Okay, now for this, okay, we have 2 minus 3. Now, when this happens, what's going to happen is you've got a negative exponent that you're going to be left with when you have that. So we're going to do 2 minus 3, and we get negative 1. And then this is actually just going to be, we're actually just going to leave that the way it is because there's nothing to subtract here. Now, you usually want to write your answer without the negative exponents. So the way this is going to work is you're going to put this below the division bar, and that's going to become positive. So anytime you have a negative exponent, if you move it across the division bar, it's going to change the sign of what you have there. So instead of x to negative 1, you make it 1 over x, and we'll just leave everything like that in that form. So again, whenever you have negative exponents, you always want to make them positive by taking it below the division bar. That's going to change the sign from negative to positive. So let's try another one. This one here, we're going to do 9x to the 7th over x squared minus 7x to the 4th over x squared and x squared over x squared. For this, we're going to have a 9, and then we're going to subtract this. That's going to be x to the 5th because we're going to do 7 minus 2 gives you 5. Then you have x, you have 4 minus 2 is going to be 2. And because you have the same thing top and bottom, you're just going to get a 1 there in that case. And then that would be your answer, 9x to the 5th minus 7x squared plus 1. We'll do one more here. everything on top will be divided by x to the fifth. 2x to the fifth divided by x to the fifth minus x to the sixth over x to the fifth plus 3 over x to the fifth. Now the first one, we've got x to the fifths are just going to cancel out all together. So you're just going to get a 2 there. And then we have the next x here. 6 minus 5 is 1, which means you're just going to get x to the first power, or just x. Now this last one, we're not going to do anything with because there's nothing to subtract, and we don't want to make it a negative exponent. We want to keep it just like this. And so that would be your final answer.